Hello cottagers, welcome back to my channel. I am Maddie and this is This Bookish Cottage. So I'm gonna need your help with something. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, and if you aren't, I'm going to clue you in now. We do in fact live on a boat, and while that is very fun and it is something that we deeply enjoy, there are also interesting things that you start learning once you live on a boat. What are some of these things? I could go into a very long list of that, but I'm not going to because I don't think you want to be here forever. But what I can tell you is that I need you guys to help me with something because of something that I have learned about living on a boat. You see, when you live on a boat, your boat has to float. So because your boat has to float, you do have to think about things that you are going to be then putting on your boat. I didn't think about things whenever I decided, hey, how about we let mine and my husband's obsession with books get carried away? No big deal. No big deal. Except it was a big deal. Basically what's happening is our boat, while it is still afloat, is definitely sitting kind of low. So I started thinking, okay, well, we've been taking our books to our favorite store over in Tulsa and getting credit, and then we've been buying more books, and then we bring them back because we have credit, so technically it's like free. So you know, like girl math worked really great in that area, but what it doesn't work great in is the weight area, because if you're getting rid of books because they weigh a lot and then you bring the same amount of books back on, well, now you're still sitting at the same level. So I knew that if I was to take books and get rid of them and get credit, that I would then use that credit. So I figure, let's mix it up a bit. I'm gonna get you guys to help me make sure that our boat stays afloat. How am I gonna do that without having to stop buying books / getting books as gifts / finding books at free libraries? You know, all the different things. What I'm going to be doing is every month possible. This cannot always happen because I know life can get a hold of us sometimes. But if possible, every month I will be doing a giveaway of the books or some of the books that I read the previous month. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to be making sure that you watch my TBRs to see what books are possibly going to be put into the drawing for the giveaway. How is this going to happen? Well, there's lots of different ways that we could do this, but I figured let's make this fairly simple, okay? What's gonna happen is I will be presenting the books that I liked or ones that I DNF'd and that I just don't need on my shelves anymore. So sometimes I will read a book that I loved and I just cannot see myself getting rid of it just yet. So even though it was on my TBR, does not necessarily mean that it's going to be in this drawing. But if it was a book that I still really enjoyed, but I just don't see myself rereading, then we're gonna go ahead and put it in the giveaway. So how this will work is 2 people, that's right, not 1, but 2 people will actually be winning this drawing. I am about to present to you guys the books. You need to watch the books because there's a specific thing that you're going to have to do, okay? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, let me show you the books and then I will explain how to enter into this drawing. There are several books here, all right? Several. So let me show you, and they are all over the board. And right now, these were not books that were just presented in August. These are actually books that I've been holding on to for the last couple months, trying to figure out what I want to do with them. And then once I had this idea, I knew I needed to go with this. So you guys will have a pretty stinking big pool of books to choose from this month, okay? So we have The House on Foster Hill. This is by Jamie Jo Wright. I really enjoyed this book. I loved that it was suspenseful and thriller, but it was also a faith-based book. So if you like faith-based books that are kind of keeping you on the edge of your seat, keeping you on your toes, this is definitely that kind of book. So keep this one in mind if you're interested in that, okay? The next one, and I'm honestly a little shocked that I'm getting rid of this book because I did love it so much, but because of that, I knew that I wanted to share this one with the world. The next book I'm going to be putting out for you guys to possibly win is Small Favors by Erin A. Craig. This one, besides the fact that it is an absolutely stunning cover, was one of my favorite books that I have read this year. I loved this book. It is very haunting and it has very cottagecore vibes, but it is extremely mysterious and kind of like, it's thrilling and it's creepy and like it gives you all the different emotions. I loved this book. It got a 4.5 star from me. So I'm shocked that I'm getting rid of this one, but again, I want to share this one with the world because it is so stinking good. And I think more people need to know about this one. So this is on our list. The next one is The 10,000 Doors of January. This is by Alex Harrow. I liked this book. I did not love this book. I did finish this book because I was on a waiting list for the audio for a long time. And I knew that I really wanted to listen to this one while reading it. So, you know, tandem style. And I enjoyed it. But I will say that it was a little confusing at times. But I did like that it was closed door. There was barely any cussing, if anything. It was just a really good, fun read. I loved the fact that you could tell that Alex really understood our deep love of books, and that was very heavily represented in this book, and so I appreciated that. So this is definitely an option, and I would highly recommend this being on your list. The next one is actually going to be a short little graphic novel, and that is Wait Till Helen Comes. I thought that this is a perfect time to do this as we're about to enter into the spooky season. So if you haven't read this one, this is also a really great book for you to put on your list of possibilities. Next is not like any of the other books. This is actually a non-fiction book, but it was so good that I knew other people need to read that, and that is The Boys in the Boat. If you have not read this one, oh my goodness, you need to, because you will be cheering so hard when you read this book. I loved it. If you've watched the movie, I still recommend reading the book because there is so much that is left out of the movie that you learn in here, and because it is a real story of our actual American history, it is so good and fascinating. It really does make your mind start wondering and working through what the past actually dealt with, or what the people from back then had to deal with that we don't register because we weren't from that time. It is really good. I highly recommend it. So make sure this is on your list. Next is actually a book that is in such great shape that I'm like, it's so pretty, I want to keep it, but we're not going to. And that is Firekeeper's Daughter. This one is by Angeline Bowley. I've never been sure how to actually say her name. But this is a book that you can possibly win. And I started this one and I just never got into it. Now I know some people loved this book, and I think that's awesome, and I'm so happy that there is a fan base for this book because it does deserve that, I can tell, but it just wasn't my cup of tea, you know? So this one is going to be offered in this giveaway, and if you win this, I would love to hear your opinions on it. We have 2 more books. Are you guys ready? So next we have The Librarian of Burned Books. I started this one and I DNF'd it. It was good. I liked what the premise was, but I just kept getting very confused. And maybe it was just because the timing of me reading this book, I have no idea what was going on. But I have heard nothing but good things about this book. So I know that it's going to be a book that is deeply loved by other people, especially if you have a deep love of books. So all I know is that this was set during World War II and that there is a correspondence that is happening between books. I'm not really sure what else was going on. There was a lot more, but I don't know what it was. So maybe you will enjoy this book. Just because I didn't doesn't mean that you won't. So please keep that in mind whenever you're entering into this giveaway. I'm just being very honest with why I'm also getting rid of these books, because I feel like that's what I try to do on this channel, is try to be very transparent, let you guys know exactly where I stand on books. So that's why I'm doing that. And then last but not least, we have The Midnight Library. This is by Matt Haig, and I really enjoyed this book. It was not at all what I was expecting. I thought that this was going to kind of be like a fanciful book but it kind of wasn't, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I was pleasantly surprised, let's say that. So don't go into this thinking that it is going to be like a fantasy, because it's not. It is dealing with some very deep and hard issues, but I really liked this one, and I think that you would too if you give it a chance. So definitely make sure that this is on your list. Okay, so how are you going to enter into this contest? Well, what you're going to do is you are going to use hashtag keep the boat afloat, okay? And I will make sure that that is here for you. And you will put that down in your comment, and then I will do a random comment generator, and it's going to pick 2 people to win. Now, here's the thing. I need you to also put in your comment. I need you to put in the same comment, put 3 books from this list that you would like, and put them in order of which one is your favorite, basically. So which one would you absolutely love to have, the next one that you'd be really happy to have, and the third one that you're like, all right, if I get this one, I'll still be happy. It wasn't my top choice, but I'm happy to get it anyways. Make sure you do all 3, okay? And then in that same comment, make sure you put your hashtag. Otherwise, if you win, and I won't be able to figure out which books you wanted, and you'll just get sent one, okay? So what I'm going to do is, because I love a good mystery, we are going to be announcing the winners in a week or more. I am going to sneak the winners into a video that will be happening either a week from today or a little bit later. You don't know. I honestly don't know. So you will be notified that way. And what I will also say is that I will not be tagging the winners in my comments or anything. You're gonna have to watch the video to figure out if you win. And if you do win, then what I need you to do is I will need you to find me over on Instagram at thisbookishcottage and message me there and let me know what your address is. You need to be okay with giving me your physical address or a P.O. box. Anything like that is just fine. That way I can then send you your book. Now here is something else I also want to put out there. So for all of my sweet supporters of this channel, I do have a Patreon, and everyone who is in my Patreon, guys, y'all need to enter into this, but then also the books that are then left over, we are going to also have a giveaway specifically for Patreons, okay? So I hope that you guys are excited for this, because this is really going to help my boat to stay afloat, and I'm going to be doing this every month if possible. Hopefully every month I will have this big old stack of books you guys can choose from. But I just never know. I never know. I'm sure you guys have learned that about me, that I do not tend to always stick with my TBR. So there could be some surprise books on there that were not mentioned at the beginning of the month. So anyways, I am so excited for this. And again, make sure that you go enter below. You must be 18 years or older to be able to participate. You do preferably need to be in the United States, because I cannot afford to ship this worldwide, and I am so sorry for that. But one day maybe we can get there, okay? If we all work on this together, maybe we can get to where my books can go to anywhere around the world. And then the last thing is that this is not sponsored in any way by any of the authors, by any of the publishers, by YouTube, by anything at all. This is all just from me and my way of just trying to give back to the community, but also make sure that my boat can stay afloat. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love y'all so very much, and I'm grateful for every single one of y'all. Make sure you go like, comment, and subscribe, because you do need to be subscribed to win. So I know how to check, and make sure that your account is a public account, because if it is private, then I will not be able to tell that you're a subscriber, and then you won't be able to win the contest. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.